All right, we're back with another week of Otter Talk for the Gold League. We are headed into playoffs officially now. It's the round of 12. I am Trax, and joining me is none other than the bully, Mr. Lean, Fury, and Rivered. How are you all doing tonight? Kind of a big crew we got on this evening.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bigger Otter talk for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of.
I was told I get to heck Billy alive, so that's why
Yeah,
I'm here.
go for it. Every
Uh,
couple will give you an opportunity to heck
every
Billy.
every time you donate a sub,
Oh,
you get one heck Billy. You know.
actually, should
That's
we?
expensive. What the heck?
Oh, that's actually a
If you say
great
Billy after that,
idea.
you owe us.
It should be like a Heck Billy soundboard every time someone subs
We
to
should
the
have like
channel.
a
Ooh,
like an exclamation
yeah.
mark
So
There
it
you
just
go.
pops
for
up
Heck
randomly
Billy.
on stream. That'd be
Just
great.
one of us just yelling heck Billy.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, we had a lot to talk about tonight. So let's kind of dive right into it with Otter Talk. We're going to be going over power rankings first. So there are only 4 games tonight. So we're going to go over the power rankings are going to be over the teams that are currently participating this evening. So just so no one gets confused when they're looking at the graphic, they're like, where the other half of the team?
Mhm.
We'll see them in quarters, but for now, we're talking about the teams that are playing in this first round of playoffs. That includes Rivals, Clown Gaming Aristocrats, New World, Esports, Mercury, Literal Monkeys Fire, Imperial Gaming, Red Panda Gaming Cubs, Aftermath Esports, and Literal Monkeys Water all have matches this evening. And to start it all off, it looks like the vast majority of individuals have selected Imperial Gaming as the number 1 seed this evening up against RPG Cubs. So we're going to let the Bully start this one off. They're coming in as the number 7 seed, so they have 2 seeds above them right now. But it seems that everyone has consistently ranked them number 1 in this first round of playoffs. So kind of walk me through why you feel that's the case.
I think it's mostly because of the other seeds that are included on here. It's of course a top four, and two of them are from their own division, Ocean. And Imperial did show that they have a lot of skills in past season and this season, and I think they would be the team to beat out of all these 8 teams. And I think that we are looking forward to possibly a CB of Bees over his Imperial round 2 or quarterfinals match.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Rivered, what are your thoughts? Who would you put up at the top here?
At the top, my top 2 teams would probably be IG and Litmon Water.
Litmon
And
Water. Okay.
yeah,
Kind of walk me
I'm
through why you've ranked Litmon Water so high compared to
so
everyone else.
they were the only team to take a series off of us. And then when I look at the rest of the teams, I see a lot of people have Aftermath rated highly. I think they'd be my last place team. Another controversial take.
Okay.
Um, Possibly even past Fire, despite the roster changes.
Okay.
Um, that's just my experience with the teams. Litmon Water have a super solid roster. Funnily enough, when I played in tryouts for CB, I played against Verja. I think he's super solid 80 carry. I think Chinese Spy and rest of the roster is good enough to back that up.
And unfortunately, they will have to use a sub today, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's something we're going to touch on because I noticed some of you have ranked Water and Fire fairly high, Fury, and some of you have ranked them fairly low, Bully. You do have some insider information about roster moves and everything else like that. So kind of walk me through the unfortunate circumstances that Water and Fire are facing in this first round of playoffs here.
I mean, water is less like a big of an issue. It's like
Yeah.
yes, their ADC I think lost power, I believe, so they'll have to use all fire today. I don't know for how long. Maybe it's all the games, but they're less in a dire situation than Fire. Fire
Mhm.
lost their ADC to a rank out. last week or this past week. So they did replace their player. The only problem is they basically shuffled around their whole roster. They're not playing. They're still playing against New World Esports Mercury, and it might be their best chance to move on because we've seen New World Esports falter quite a bit, and New World Esports is also going to have to, use ESA potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll see with that. We'll talk about the matchup in a little bit, though. Up next, let's talk about Rivals. Rivals was one of the teams that kind of faltered mid-season and then picked it up and did pretty well heading into the seed week, right? They come into the 8th seed right now, up against Colin Gaming Aristocrats. We'll talk about that matchup in a second. But Fury, you've ranked them second. We see a couple thirds, a fourth. So you put them second. What are your thoughts on Rivals here?
I just think they've looked really good in the back half of the season. I think they've pulled in their own, done really well in the Cloud division, which I would say is probably the second hardest division that we have. And I don't know, just going into it, looking pretty good. Clown Gaming, have played well, but personally, I feel like Mountain Division is a little bit of the easier of the three.
Okay.
So their record may look good, but I think going up against rivals, I think it's going to be a little bit hard for them.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna kind of hop around as we go. So up next, it is RPG Cubs coming out of that division that you were talking about, out of Mountain, 4th seed, heading into seeding. They now sit at 10th overall right now. Mr. Lean, you've kind of put them middle of the pack. The community does seem to think that they are 3rd right now. But what are your thoughts on RPG Cubs here this week? I noticed he just left the call. So we're going to throw that
Great.
over to Rivert. Go ahead and what are your thoughts on RPG Cubs here?
So on paper, I haven't played against RPG Cubs, but on paper they seem like a scarier team to me than Litmon Fire and Aristocrats. So I do think it is kind of just unfortunate that they were drawn against IG. I think they probably have a decent chance against Aftermath, Rivals. New World Esports might be close, but I do think they are a better team than how far I predict them to go will land them.
Okay.
Do think IG will beat them, but
Okay,
I
fair
think they're
enough.
a decent team.
All right, and let's talk about probably one of the, I believe, the 2nd seed coming into this, number 6th overall. It is Aftermath Esports and Bully. You put them in 4th. It looks like you put them a little bit higher than most people have. Aftermath seems to be one of those teams that are kind of all over the power rankings right now, but you put them pretty much smack dab in your rankings. Walk me through your reasoning with that.
I mean, they are basically a roller coaster ride of emotions, honestly. Like, they basically can play like a pretty solid team, but sometimes they literally, just don't play well at all. Like, it's their
Mismatched in 18
consistency.
minutes.
It's their consistency is the issue, and if they can't fix that, this could be a very quick series in round 1 and the round 12. But they do have the potential to, play a series out and win it if I guess their overall state of their mental is like perfectly fine and they're are all synergized, but we haven't seen that a lot lately with the Aftermath.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and one of the things that we are going to touch on, it is now we're in the round of 12. It's playoffs time officially, so all these games are best of 5. We've been doing best of 3s for the most part, a lot of 2-0s, a few series going to 3 games, but definitely touching on the mental fortitude and stamina that these players need to have to kind of produce these wins in this best of 5 series is something that we kind of take a look at down the line if they're able to win in round of 12. Because let's be honest, back-to-back weeks, best of 5s, like you're playing 4 best of 5s back-to-back if you're trying to make it to finals and win. So it's going to be a long month of League of Legends for these players. With that, though, I believe the last thing we need to talk about, it is Clown Gaming Aristocrats. I believe you have them in 2nd. Mr. Lane has them in 4th. The community did not rank them particularly high here, but Fury, you've put them in dead last. So we're going to ask you why you put them so low, and then we're going to throw it over to Rivered to kind of give me your take on Clown Gaming Aristocrats as well.
So it's basically just based on my predictions for tonight and what I think is going to be the score line. I think CGA are going to have it the hardest tonight out of all the teams. That's the main reason why I have them in last. Where you guys, I'm not sure how you have CGA and Rivals next to each other, Traxon and Bully, because it's not physically possible.
Because this is the rankings on their overall power, I think, overall. And like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going off of what
I mean, you
predictions
can
are.
say that, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't see how, if like event next week,
Yeah,
one
it'll
of those is
change.
going to be gone.
But if we're talking about strength of teams, that's what I'm going through. It's like, I think
I did a
I
mix of
think
both, yeah.
I'm not gonna say that IG's gonna get upset in the first round, even though if I think they're the best, and then put them in last.
All right. And then that's where you change it.
Yeah, I think I flipped Water and CGA on mine, to be honest with you. So that's my bad. Oh, well. But yeah, so, okay, fair enough. And then, River, what are your thoughts on CGA here?
So I've actually played CJ twice in Aegis with my other team. I
Okay.
think they've got a decently solid roster. That's very consistent. But in my experience, their bot lane is pretty exploitable. In in both series that I went against them, I felt that was like pretty easy. Megatron is probably their weakest player. No offense to the guy, but it's just how I feel about him. But overall, I think I don't know much about Rivals. They're kind of an unknown quantity to me, but from what I expect of this team's level, depending on how the draft plays out specifically, I think they can beat Rivals.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually a great segue into the next part of Auto Talk that we are going to be discussing. It is time to talk about the match predictions. So let's pull that graphic up right here. And right off the bat, it looks like we have a few more differences than at least last night on Platinum, which is good. So we're going to kind of get into it. So first game we are going to be discussing, it is the number 8 seed Rivals taking on the number 9 seed Clown Gaming Aristocrats. I personally believe this is going to be a very close match. I believe a lot of you agree as well. Both teams kind of stumbled a little bit mid-season, started to kind of pick up the pace heading into postseason, so this should be a very exciting best of 5. Bully, you have gone with Clown Gaming Aristocrats. Tell me the reasoning behind your selection and why you feel they win here.
I mean, some people are gonna like try to quote that, "Oh, Rivals beat them last week in the seeding week," but it's a best of ones.
Exactly. Anything
Anything
happens in a best of one. Yep.
And Aristocrats very well could have been a 2 seed or like in their own division. They beat New World Esports Mercury. It's just that one game difference that was the difference between them being a higher seed than what they are right now. And I think they definitely turned it up at the end of the season. And going up in a having momentum on your side going to playoffs does well. But on the flip side, Rivals has that same thing where they did poor at the beginning of the season and they definitely turned it up a notch. The only thing I think is that there might be more of I'm gonna say stamina for Cloud Gaming Aristocrats because they did play literally 17 out of 21 possible games. And I think they can adapt a little bit better in the draft in the best of 5 series. Rivals does have what it take, but it can very well be, I guess, tarnished if they lose one game where their mentals can just be unstable and they might just like end up just not playing as well as they should be.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I have a very solid take on that. We're going to throw it over now to Rivered. Actually, hold on real quick. Bully, what was your final series score here?
I'm hoping it's a 3-0 so I could go to bed early. But I think it's going to be at least, I think it's going to be a 3-1 for CGA.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Yuri, you disagree. You have selected Rivals to win. Tell me why you think Rivals beats on Gaming Aristocrats in this best of 5, and then what would your final series score be?
So I'm the same thing but opposite. I think it's going to be a 3-0, or maybe 3-1 for Rivals. But only because I think Rivals had I guess a better pool of teams to play against, in terms of just raw skill coming into it. That's really my only reason behind it. Like Mountain, I think was kind of a gimme.
That's what people said
like,
about Cloud
league.
last week.
Yeah,
Just
but
saying.
I've always been in the realm that Ocean is the best, then Cloud,
I
then
think
Mountain.
that was everyone.
What do you think? Was it?
Yeah, I think everyone thought Ocean was 100% the best, and then Cloud. But then Cloud, kind of fumbled, but those are best of one, so I can't really.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I still stick behind that. Like, technically, there's only 7 teams in it. 6 if you want to take out CG Jesters, and 5 if you want to just discount RAR. So you really only had to beat one team to get into where you are right now.
Okay,
That's
a hot
pretty much
take, but
correct.
yeah, I mean,
But
yeah.
yeah, and then but we did see RPG Cubs do extremely well last week. They won all 3 games, I think.
Yeah, and that's something that like I am glad we were able to see, because RPG Cubs started undefeated. I think they were 3-0, right? And then it was just like loss right after that. And we're like, oh boy, this is looking rough for the Cubs right now.
Was it
But
3-0 or was it 2-0?
I thought it was 3-0, but I could be wrong. Maybe double check me on that. But they were undefeated at one point. They were like, everyone is putting them, number 1, number 2, kind of up there with Ibiza and New World Esports. But then they just kind of had a bit of a loss streak. But thankfully, a lot of these teams who struggled mid-season have been able to kind of pull it back heading into playoffs. So kind of overall increases the kind of games that we're going to see this evening, which is exciting. But
I mean, think about what some of these other teams that didn't make the playoffs could do. Like,
Sure.
if we saw like GSG Gamma and AK Jasmine Dragons, if you put them in like Mountain or Cloud,
yeah,
would they have
exactly.
been in playoffs?
Maybe.
So,
I think like you take any team out of Ocean and put them anywhere else, and I think they're top 3.
even Son
Any
Goku?
team, any one of those 8 teams you
Oh.
put anywhere else, and they do way better.
Son Goku is harder
Okay.
than Aftermath.
Oh, hot take.
it's not a lie.
No. Oh, no. Okay, fair.
I guess the world will never know.
I guess
Listen,
not.
we finished our game against Aftermath in less than 20 minutes. Son Goku, both games, they did a few things, and then we're just kind of all over the place the rest of the map. But I don't know, man. Son Goku makes it out of Cloud.
Okay, that's all right. Well, let's talk about the next matchup then. It is number 5 seeded New World Esports Mercury up against number 12 Literal Monkeys Fire. This one is also split. So it looks like Fury and Lean have gone with Fire. The rest of us have selected Mercury.
I think Fury wants something to say or has something to say.
Fury will definitely
Yeah,
have something to say.
I want to talk about this one.
But before Fury gets to talk, we're gonna throw it over to Rivered. Give me your take on this matchup as one of the players who has played within BOL and kind of watched some of these teams throughout the season.
I think Mercury probably has the second highest ceiling of all these teams. That being said, it's been a while since they've played with their support. I think on a good day they'd be competitive with IG. That being said, it seems like it's been a long time since they've had a good day, so we're gonna have to see how that goes. I have faith that they'll pull through against Litmon Fire without Wonderworld and with all the role swaps, but who knows with them. I just hope that once Kaler's knocked out, because he will be knocked out eventually, because he does have to face us.
Oh.
Once he's knocked out, I just hope that he continues to make some fire memes. That's all I want.
Very true. Yeah, keeping trash talk
Oh,
spicy.
I like the no bias when he makes the memes as well. Like
Exactly.
it's really funny when he shits on his own
great.
team. Like,
Memes are great, yeah. Especially someone who appreciates
everyone
them.
gets it.
No, that's great.
No one's safe.
All right, Fury. I believe you had wanted to say something. That's why we're not going to let you. No, I'm kidding. So you actually, Rivet. What's your final series score here?
Do they have bans or not tonight? I don't know.
I didn't see them use an ESUB request yet, so I
Okay.
don't know.
Give me
In that case,
both. Give me
3-0.
both. One. Okay. 3-0. Okay.
3-0 if they have no subs.
Okay. Fair enough. And if they do?
If they do, 3-1, 3-2.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
kind of a
wait.
toss-up.
They did put their ESUB request in. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
disappointment.
Unfortunate. It's a struggle
They put it in
sometimes.
2 days ago, so thank God.
Yeah. Like last second ESUB 12 minutes before a game, like trying to figure it out. Oh, that's
that'd
the
be
worst.
sick.
All right. Well, okay. So Fury, you went with Fire here. Give me the rundown as to why you believe in Little Monkey's Fire in this Best of 5 matchup. The number 12 seed up against the number 5 seed. You're expecting an upset. Why and what is your series score?
So here's the thing, right? Originally, yeah, I was expecting it until we were given all this information about roster changes and stuff. Like I
Mhm.
knew Wonderworld wasn't going to be there, but I figured they would just get an ADC, they'd be fine. Everybody seems to stay where they are. Apparently, there's a bunch of swaps going around. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. I wish I knew before putting that in because I would have considered my options a little bit more. I'm starting to lean towards the New World Esports, but if they're missing 3 bands, I don't know. I think they're dead even now. As far as who could go what, I think it's gonna be 3-2 Literal Monkeys if I'm just gonna stick with my
Okay.
original guess.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, let's. Anyone have anything they'd like to add with Rivals or New World Esports? Anything I missed from asking you guys? Any hot takes you'd like to add to it, or are we good to move on to the next two?
I think we're good.
Okay, fair enough. Set our piece. All right, up next, it is number 7, Imperial Gaming, up against number 10, Red Panda Gaming Hubs. Everyone has selected Imperial Gaming win this best of 5 matchup. So we're going to start off with the bully. You selected Imperial Gaming. Why do they win in your eyes? And then what is the game score at the end of it?
I mean, this is just unfortunate for Red Panda Gaming. I think what Fury said on earlier, where it's like they're from Mountain, they didn't have that much competition. Like even towards the end of the season, we saw New World Esports kind of falter. Ibiza was definitely like the best team in that division,
Mhm.
but I don't know how it was going against Phantoms, Clown, Game Jesters, Raw, Glacial. The big thing is that Imperial was known to be a very good team. Even though they ended 3rd seed in Ocean, they could have been easily a 1 seed.
Okay.
And I think Imperial was just the unfortunate first round
They got a
opponent.
short end of the stick, basically. Okay, so then my question to you real quick then is, what other teams do you see them potentially they could advance against bracket here? Are there a lot, or are there just a few teams? Like, what are their odds if they were to match up someone other than Imperial?
I think if they play it against either Litter Monkey's Fire or let's see, Litter Monkey's Fire, New World, or like even possibly the other two the other Little Monkeys and then Aftermath, there's a possibility they beat them.
Okay.
So I think CGA or Rivals would beat them. So I would have a lot of confidence of RPG if they played against Fire.
Got you. Did I miss your series score at the end, or did I say
Yeah.
it? Okay.
No, I didn't say it yet, but
Okay,
like
okay.
I think it's gonna be 3-0. I think
Okay.
the top laner from RPG is actually really good, and like he is like the soul heart of that team. Which I played against that top laner, and he's a 1v9 type of
Okay.
player. So that would be their win con.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. The actual next question I was going to ask was to Fury. If you saw a way in which RPG Cubs were to come out with this upset against Imperial Gaming, how would they go about doing it? But it sounds like it might kind of start in that top lane matchup. But if you would like to elaborate a little bit more, Fury, on this matchup and how RPG Cubs could walk away with the win, this best of 5.
Yeah, only thing I got is IG has to fumble the bag hard.
Okay.
They need to do some CB Diamond stuff.
Oh, no.
Where they just take it to 5 games somehow off of some mistakes, and then just IG would need to pull a worse draft than we saw Diamond pull a couple days ago. And I think they're good. That's it, cakewalk, and then they get eliminated next round. But yeah, I don't see a world in which IG doesn't win. Like what we were talking about earlier, I think a 3rd seed in Ocean is an easy first in Mountain.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, it's not an easy first in Mountain.
No.
You're still playing against Ibiza, dude.
Yeah, but look, I'm not going to say anything mean. I'm not gonna
Next
say-
week, are you here next week? I hope so. Yeah,
There's a
we
possibility.
can.
All right, so I did go for the upset in a week 2. That's why I put up my pick'ems.
Mhm.
But like Ibiza, yes, they're gonna have a little bit of issues, but because of they have to start e-subbing the top laner, and that's where the fault lies. But like during the season, this team won RA.
They're
This roster without different ADC, but the core is still there. Like this
I'm
team
not taking
looks
anything
great.
away from Ibiza. All I'm saying is, let's say you take TA Dayspawn, put them in Mountain, and put Ibiza in Cloud. I think TA Dayspawn still 7-0s. I think CB Rangers 7-0 if they're in Mountain and Ibiza somewhere else.
Okay.
There's a possibility that TA Baseball wouldn't 7-0, but I do think they would
We
at
will-
least.
Yeah, TA Dayspawn will definitely be a hot topic to talk about next week when we get to quarters. So keep your notes for those guys. We'll definitely be talking about them. But let's talk about our next and final matchup before we hop into these best of fives tonight. It is number 6 seed Aftermath Esports taking on Literal Monkey's Water here. Which is interesting enough. Water coming in as one of the lowest seeds. They do come out of Ocean as the 4th seed, though, so we do kind of have that. That's kind of why they're a little bit higher in everyone's predictions here. Up against Aftermath Esports, though, who had a pretty solid showing coming out of Cloud Division in 2nd place. I feel like, Fury, you want to say something right now about the strength of the divisions and why you have selected Literal Monkey's Water to win this matchup. No?
This
Okay.
is going to be the closest match of the night, I think.
Okay, all right. So talk me through
I
why
think
you
it's
feel it's going to be so
3-2.
close. Okay.
Aftermath, regardless of what division they're in, they've looked very solid, just as a team overall. Like, not even looking at who they're playing against, just how they're playing macro and micro wise as a team, have looked very good. Second on Cloud, 5-2 to Little Monkeys. What they were 4th, 4-3, 11-8.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the seeding there against Little Monkeys. Water took some games off some pretty high end teams. But Aftermath has still looked just as good. I think it's gonna be a 3-2. It could go either way on that 3-2, but I think we see 5 games.
Okay. All right. Rivered, what's the take on this matchup in these two teams here?
Depends on if Verja gets power back, but I think
Oh
I
no!
think it should. Yeah,
Only versus power.
I forgot about that until like a
No.
second ago.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
expect Litmon Water to take it. I think that Ikazuchi and Puffer Please's swapping roles was good for the team, but I still am not convinced on them. I think that top lane should be exploitable. I don't know, man. Whether Ikazuchi is wearing socks or not could determine how the coin flips for him. It
Okay.
seems wild to me. The inconsistency in his play, and that's just been the case for him for over a year now.
Okay.
So I don't. In a best of 5, the coin could either flip heads all 3 times, or it could also flip tails all 3 times. Who knows?
Yeah, that's one thing I learned. Oh, go ahead, Bully.
It looks like the Litmon Waters ADC will not be getting their internet back.
Look, there's
Which
4
is
minutes.
why-
You never know.
All right, well, GG Aftermath.
Hotspot. Go to the
Go to
library.
McDonald's,
I don't know.
man.
Yeah, McDonald's just pick the whole desktop
Head down to
up.
Dude, I
Starbucks,
I
McDonald's.
saw somebody bring their whole Xbox monitors, things like that, to a Chick-fil-A once.
You remember that one
And then
tournament?
they started gaming at
I've seen that
Chick-fil-A.
too. I've seen that too.
Apparently, Chick-fil-A internet is
Okay.
it's pretty sick.
I had to play a tournament evening at a hotel. That was a good time on a laptop. I went out and I bought a
I
laptop.
remember that.
Yeah, we were the same team together. I
Yeah,
went out and I got
were
a
on my team.
laptop. Yeah, and I tried to figure out how to set it up. Oh, it was great. It was so
I
much
have
fun.
Worst I've done is Mythic Raid from Hotel Wi-Fi.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
It was so much fun.
Oh, no. All right. Bully, would you like to kind of wrap us up with this matchup here, with your thoughts on it now, knowing what you know with the the player changes? Or is it has everything been said already?
I think most of the things been said. I think
Okay.
most of the interesting matchups. I think we have a couple of interesting matchups today. But the heart of the upsets would definitely be coming next week. I think,
Mhm.
unless like RPG wins today, because that would be the biggest upset of today, no matter what. But next week would be, where things come down and we see maybe
Mhm.
some major upsets, something that IG has done in the past, something we might be all doubting, New World or
Yeah.
Aftermath, and they could just
Well, who
turn up
knows?
in a
RPG
game in
Cubs pop
5 game
off.
series.
Yeah, who knows? That's what's great about the best of fives. Anything can happen in best of ones, but it seems the team that kind of tilts less after like a silly loss or just getting kind of gapped in draft
Mhm.
definitely have an advantage in these kind of longer series. Anything
Yeah,
other? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
make sure you finish your pick'ems. You got 2 minutes.
True. 2 minutes to get your pickups in. Get them in ASAP. Before I throw it
2
to a
minutes.
quick break, anything any of you would like to say to our participants this evening as they look to battle for a quarterfinals playoff berth?
Good luck, and remember, it's all about the mental. Don't
Yep.
tilt. And tilting
You know,
is your
we hit
one
we hit some pretty high
downfall.
view counts in the last 2 days. Let's match that.
Yeah, make
Maybe,
sure you
maybe
share
nice.
this around to like everybody that you can. Send this to every Discord that you know.
Jeez.
Imagine you have one person and we just get messages after. It's like, who's this spamming our Discord channel?
I don't know.
Oh no.
Take no credit for that.
Yeah.
Delete the VOD now.
All right. Well, we're going to throw to a quick break. And we will be back with all the action this evening on Stream 1. It's Rivals up against CG Aristocrats, which should be a great best of 5. And on Stream 2, it's Aftermath versus Little Monkeys Water. We'll be right back. Have a great evening, and we'll see you in just a few minutes for some great games.